Throughout my life, I have seen many people shout to be noticed, and time has humbled them all. Real power is never in noise or force. It lives in those who enter a room quietly and are felt without saying a word. True power does not rush. It arrives with certainty and simply is. Today, I will show you what makes someone truly powerful. Not the qualities that earn applause or praise, but the traits that inspire respect in silence and influence without demand. The kind of power that others naturally follow. Let us begin. The silence that speaks. You've seen them. The ones who talk the most. The ones who must always be right. The ones who fill every silence with words. Their voices get louder when they're challenged. Their explanations get longer when they feel unsure. And from a distance, it can look like confidence, but it's not. Noise is confusion pretending to be strength. People who truly know who they are don't need to raise their voice. Those who lack certainty raise their volume. They argue, they interrupt, they explain themselves again and again and again, not to convince you, but to convince themselves. I've watched this for years, in offices, in classrooms, in leaders and followers, and I can say this clearly. I have never seen wisdom shout. Not once. Real power moves differently. It's quiet, it's grounded, it's calm, because it's settled. Think about the most powerful person you've ever met. Not the loudest, not the most aggressive, the one who walked into the room and everything changed. They didn't demand attention, they didn't chase approval. Their presence spoke first. When someone truly knows who they are, they stop asking the world for permission. Here's the truth most people miss. Noise begs to be noticed. Power doesn't beg. Power simply exists, and attention finds it without being called. The question that changes everything. Followers are not created by force. They are created by unawareness. When a person does not understand why they move with the crowd. Not because they are weak, not because they are foolish, but because direction was never questioned. Trends decide what they should want. Pressure decides when they should act. Fear decides where they must stop. And slowly, a life begins to move on its own. Busy, yet unconscious. Active, yet unchosen. This is how most people live, until one moment. One quiet interruption. One question that changes everything. Why? Why this desire? Why this path? Why this timing? Why this fear? The moment a person asks why, honestly, they step out of the crowd. They stop reacting and begin choosing. But here is the truth most people avoid. They never ask it. Not deeply, not patiently. They accept answers that are easy. They follow directions they did not examine. They confuse movement with purpose. And so they remain followers. Not because they were commanded, but because they never paused. Power does not come from following the right voice. It comes from understanding your own. Ask why often. Sit with it. Most people never do. And that
is why most people follow.
The authority of silence. Silence feels uncomfortable because it reveals truth. Most people rush to fill it, not because they have something important to say, but because quiet exposes them. A powerful person does not hurry to speak. They allow the room to breathe. And in that space, others reveal themselves. Watch carefully. In negotiations, in conflict, in moments of tension, the one who breaks the silence first often reveals the most. Desperation sounds like urgency. Insecurity sounds like explanation. Fear sounds like noise. But the one who can sit calmly in silence, without shifting, without justifying, without reaching for words, that person is saying something very clear. I am not in a hurry. I am not seeking approval. I am not disturbed by this moment. That is authority. Not loud, not aggressive. Settled. Now, understand this. When a person speaks rarely, their words gain weight. People listen differently. They lean in because they know this voice does not waste sound. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power, disciplined. It is strength under control, confidence at rest, wisdom choosing its moment. Most people fear silence because they have never learned to sit with themselves. The quiet forces reflection, and reflection demands honesty. So they talk. But the powerful, they wait. Because time respects those who can wait. Truth reveals itself to those who give it space. And real power belongs to the one who knows when silence speaks louder than words. I have seen strong men fall, not because they lacked intelligence, not because they lacked resources, not because the world was unfair. They fell because their emotions made decisions for them. Anger spoke first. Fear rushed them. Pride blinded them. And everything they built collapsed in a moment. These were not weak men. They were capable, disciplined, respected. But they shared one mistake. They surrendered the steering wheel. Understand this clearly. If your emotions control you, you are not free. You may believe you are choosing, but you are only responding. Anger commands, and you obey. Fear warns, and you retreat. Pride rises, and you burn bridges you will need tomorrow. This is the invisible prison. Now, let me show you what power looks like. Powerful people pause. They feel anger, but they wait. They feel fear, but they remain still. They feel temptation, but they do not rush. In that pause, they reclaim authority. They do not react on command, not from emotion, not from pressure, not from provocation. They choose, especially under pressure. This is not suppression. This is mastery. You acknowledge the emotion, I am angry, but you decide the action, I will not be ruled by anger.
That space between feeling and action is where freedom lives. Many misunderstand this. They see calm and assume coldness. They are wrong. Calm is not weakness. Calm is not indifference. Calm is mastery. It is the mark of someone who knows their inner world, someone who recognizes their triggers, someone who refuses to be ruled by impulse. The one who remains calm while others panic is not without emotion. They are above it. And that is emotional independence. The freedom to choose who you will be, no matter what you feel.
You have felt it before. Someone enters a room and nothing is said, yet everything changes. Not because they demand attention, not because they announce themselves, but because presence arrives before words. Power is felt before it is understood. Your body recognizes it before your mind explains it. So what creates this presence? Stillness. While others fidget, adjust, reach for comfort, the powerful remain still. Not stiff, not tense, settled. Their body is at rest because their mind is not searching. Every movement they make is intentional, which brings us to the second truth: controlled movement. They do not rush, they do not chase, they do not hurry to prove. When they move, the movement has purpose. It says, I know where I am, I know where I am going, I am not late. And then there is the gaze. This is important. A gaze that does not seek approval. They are not scanning the room, not checking reactions, not asking silently to be accepted. Their eyes are calm, direct, unapologetic, not dominant, complete. And people feel this immediately. Here is what life has taught me. Those who chase attention lose authority, always. The louder the performance, the thinner the presence. But those who carry presence are noticed without effort. They do not demand space. Space makes room for them. They do not force respect. Respect arrives on its own. Why? Because presence is not external. It is internal. When you are grounded, when you are certain of who you are, what you value, and where you are going, the world adjusts around you. Conversations pause, decisions wait, noise settles. Not because you asked, but because your presence suggested order. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the quiet confidence of someone who has nothing to prove and nothing to hide. That is commanding presence, and it belongs to anyone willing to stop chasing attention and start cultivating inner certainty.
The final truth. We have spoken of many things: observation, silence, emotional mastery. Now, listen carefully. Power is not dominance. Power is not control. It is not fear. It is not force. Those are signs of insecurity wearing authority. Real power is mastery. Mastery of yourself. First, mastery of emotion. You feel anger, but anger does not move you. You feel fear, but fear does not decide for you. You feel pride, but pride does not blind you. When emotion no longer commands you, you become stable, unshakable. Second, mastery of attention. In a world that constantly demands your focus, the one who controls their attention controls their life. You choose what deserves your energy. You choose what enters your mind. Noise loses its influence. Distraction loses its power. You are no longer pulled. You are centered. Third, mastery of silence. The ability to pause, to wait, to observe, to exist comfortably between impulse and action. This is rare, and rarity is power. Now understand what happens when these three are mastered. When you master yourself, manipulation fails. Chaos loses its grip. Urgency no longer controls you. Pressure has no leverage. Fear has no authority. Trends lose their pull. You move at your own pace, on your own terms, according to your own values. Not rushed, not reactive, not shaken. So, let us end where we began. What makes someone truly powerful? Not titles, not wealth, not influence over others. Power is the degree to which you have mastered yourself. Because mastery creates freedom. Freedom from manipulation, freedom from chaos, freedom from urgency. And in that freedom, you no longer need to dominate. You no longer need to prove. You no longer need permission. You simply are. Grounded, certain, unmovable. That is power. Real power. The kind that cannot be given and cannot be taken. It is earned, quietly, patiently. The question is not whether this power exists. The question is, will you claim it?
So where does this leave you? You've seen what real power looks like. Not the loud kind, not the aggressive kind, but the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't ask for attention, yet receives it. Power was never about controlling others. It was always about mastering yourself. And with that understanding comes a choice. Say less. In a world addicted to noise, precision becomes authority. Observe more. Watch. Listen. Let patterns reveal themselves. Let people reveal themselves. You don't need to push. You don't need to probe. Stillness does the work for you. This is the path few choose, because it requires patience, discipline, silence. But it's also the path many respect, even when they don't understand why. This is the path of true wisdom, not borrowed, not taught, earned. And it has always been available to you. The only question is, will you choose it?